Episode 17 of Documenting the Journey. First of all, I want to start recording these a bit different. So, in the past, there was like cuts and I was editing them. And if I said something wrong, then I said it again. But then I was thinking and I noticed that I really gravitate to the really raw content out there. So, the people that don't edit their videos and don't cut it and stuff like that. That's what I also want to go towards. So I'm gonna treat this like a solo podcast, I guess, and not do any cutting. Just me and my thoughts, and yeah, just no cuts or fancy stuff. Just laying my thoughts out there. So this is the first episode I'm gonna do that. It's getting closer and closer towards being like the I don't know, like the perfect way for me to express myself. Every week it's getting a bit better or a bit more comfortable or a bit more towards what I envisioned it to be. So yeah, it's getting closer and closer. So I hope you guys like that as well. This week there's a lot of different things I wrote down. If you were wondering how I record these, I wrote down this list of like what's been going on this week. So since I think about 2 weeks I've been journaling every day, and I think it's great for these videos because what I can do every week is just look in my journal what's all been going on the past week, write that down in key points, and then talk about it in my video like this. So it's really like a public journal about, and then specifically about my businesses. So yeah, I wanted to clarify that a bit more as well. So I'm building my agency, as you guys know, and I'm also building my e-commerce brand, Exchange Life, which is also a community. It's merchandise, but it's also a social media community, and we're building a bunch of other stuff there. So it's those two businesses that I'm documenting here. It was mainly about the agency because that's been my main focus, but I'm building both. So yeah, maybe you might think you're building two businesses and this and that, and that's really because when I left to Bali, I hadn't figured out Exchange Life. Like I couldn't live off it. So, and in my head, that would have been impossible. Like, I didn't know how I could make that happen. So, I thought I don't want to throw this away because I'm really passionate about the brand and about the mission and about the community and about all these things. But I can't live off it. So, I'm just gonna stay building it on the side and building it and building it. But I need cash flow as well, so I'll start my agency. So that's kind of how I'm here now, building two businesses. Exchange Life, the brand, and then the agency cash flow, which the agency is more like a short-term business. It's great for cash flow, as I said, and it's great now, but really the value is in building an agents. The value is in building an e-commerce brand or a brand and a name and a community. Eventually, you're gonna be able to exit that, so that's where like the real outsized returns are. And the agency is great, but the best thing is about the agency is this, so the documenting part. That's then again where the outsized returns will be and not in the agency itself. So it's kind of a view in my head why we're doing all of this or what I'm doing at all if you if you forgot about it. Yeah, so I'm gonna treat these like a solo podcast, I guess, because I don't watch all this like fast paced cutting up music shit. I really don't like that shit. So I also don't want my content to gravitate towards that. I want my content to gravitate towards the content that I like watching most because I want to attract the people that are like me, I guess, or like minded or that I can connect with. And I only do that by creating that specific content that I gravitate towards and not by creating just like cut up stuff. So yeah, that's the start of this video. Um Losing my first client. So as you see in the title, I lost my first client. So every agency is gonna have churn, and in the beginning I was like, I cannot lose one client at all. Like I cannot do it. That's gonna be like the end of it all. And then in Bali, I met a bunch of friends and a bunch of people that build big agencies, build big businesses, and they're always like, churn is normal. Like, you cannot expect yourself to lose 0 clients. That's impossible, especially in the agency world. Like, if you have like a lot of people have a churn of like 4 months. If you can hit one of 9 months, that's like incredible. So I kind of braced myself for it as well, and I lost a client on my first offer, which I'm now like trying to build an offer that's really made for clients to depend on, so they can't go without it, even if they find a cheaper alternative or something else. Like, they need me, they're like they really need the offer. So I'm trying to do that, and I lost them on the first offer, so I signed up. I kind of saw it coming as well. This client took someone in-house to do the stuff, and I wasn't gonna do that for that price, so it's totally normal. But I am running now into, I'm gonna have to find some place of steady lead flow, because right now it's just been referrals and me running around in Bali. But I do need a steady lead flow so I can close new clients and book calls and stuff, because I don't do any of that now. So I really I have to start doing that. And for me, to be honest, it's a win. It's a win in ways that it's the start of something new, because I'm only with new clients now, and also because it just made me think. It made me think about a bunch of things, and also about, okay, this is how I lost this client, took someone in-house, cheaper, this and that. How can I make sure that's never gonna happen? How can I make my offer that way that it's just unquestionable, like people need to stay? So it made me think about my offer a lot and how I want to structure it, and I think I'm coming closer and closer to a really good offer. So I kind of want to do like an offer where they pay 5K up front. I set up the right strategy for their social media. So for the info product space, I set up the right strategy, the right setup, the right messaging, the right branding, all this stuff. And then we basically hold the client's hands until they get their first viral pieces of content. And then they iterate from that. So from that point on, they kind of understand what they have to do in their niche, and they can do it themselves. There will be a bunch of services on the back that can assist them in doing that. So if they can't find an editor themselves, we can do it. If they can't find a thumbnail editor themselves, we can do it. If they can't find a YouTube manager, we can do it. But the main revenue will be the upfront, so a higher ticket offer. And that in that way, I'm not reliable of them finding their own fulfillment in-house or doing this stuff that makes me lose them. No, all the value is provided in a short amount of time, and then we can help them out with different problems they will then run into. So, okay, they grow on social media. Okay, now they want to increase quantity. They need an editor. Okay, then we'll help them out. I think that's a way more sustainable business, because I've noticed that just a retainer for fulfillment, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And it's also, yeah, I don't know. It's not, I don't think it's the best way. I think I can provide my value in a better way, in a different way, because an editor is replaceable. A social media manager is replaceable, but my knowledge and my way of thinking about it and everything in here is not replaceable. So I want to offer that in a high ticket offer up front, and then do all the fulfillment if they need my help after. So we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna start with getting some systems up soon for lead flow, DMs. I want to focus on DMs. I don't want to do the quantity way of DMs. I want to do the quality way of DMs. So I want to personally DM people and build relationships with them and like help them out. And then if they are ready, get on a call. Maybe this is a false belief of mine. It's not quantity, this and that, but I think in my niche that will just work the best. Which then again, like, okay, I lost my first client, but for me, I just told you all these wins I took out of it. It isn't a loss for me. You have to like be stoic about things. Be stoic. And I don't know if it's a crazy coincidence, but one of my dear friends recommended me Great book, The Obstacle is the Way, and I was reading that before and while that happened, and I kind of already thought like that, but that made me reinforce that even more. Like, take all the wins you can out of it. So yeah, I don't know. I just got a bunch of new ideas, and also made me reconsider what am I doing, why, like what niche am I in? Because I kind of fell into this info product niche. I didn't choose it. So what happened was that when I went to Bali, I just started my agency because again, my brand didn't help me survive. I needed cash flow, so I started an agency because I had social media skills. I didn't know for what the fuck I was gonna start my agency. But then my first client just was someone from real life, which was an info product person. And then I just fell into the niche. From there on, it was referrals. Um, but it got me thinking as well. I'm like, okay, I found my niche now. I'm gonna go all in on this niche. But then I started thinking like, I also want to test an ecom offer because like if you look at the community of my brand, it's really awesome. Like, and not just, I don't know, not because I made it. I'm just really, the people in there are really excited about it. It's just a great environment, a great community. People really give a shit. And that's, I get a lot of energy of that. And I would love to do that for other like sick brands as well. Like if I look at the people I really admire, there's a bunch of like big ecom founders in there. So I would love to work with like these sick founders. But then in my head I was like, but I have my niche now. I can't do anything else. Like everyone says always you need one niche, you need one this. So in my head I'm like, I can't do anything else. But then losing that first client got me thinking of, all right, back to just standing still. Let's look at it all. And I'm like, I have a weekly call with someone that I met in Bali, that a friend that recommended me the book as well. He has a big agency, over 20 clients, and we help each other out and we brainstorm in there and stuff. And he was like, dude, just test your offers. Test too. You can. He's like, you know how many offers I tested or niches I tested before I got here? And I was like, you're right. In my head, you shouldn't do that, multiple niches. I'm like, I have the skill set and I have case studies for both. So why not test both? So I'm gonna do some pilots in some like pilot trials in the ecom niche as well, because I would love to build some, let's say, communities there. So and basically help ecom brands with organic social media, building community, increasing virality, likability, all these things. That's a whole other story. So yeah, those are like a bunch of wins I got from this loss. So basically what I'm trying to say is when you have a loss, like think about it from the bright side and look at the wins you have had from it. Like what are the wins you can get out of this? And focus on those. You know, it is a win if you make it a win, if you think about it that way, and if you learn, and if you, because losing in business is inevitable. You are just not gonna build a business without losing. That's impossible. So you might, you can get sad over it, or you might as well deal with it the best way. So that's just something I really appreciate the stoic way of thinking about things. And I always said as a like a joke. I don't know. Stoicism is old, right? But I think in the Greek and Roman times, uh, it was a strong way of thinking as well, philosophy. I always said like I aspire to be more like one of those Greek statues. I think that's just in everything, in my body, in my stoic way of thinking and carrying yourself, and I think that's just a great way to think about it. So yeah, that's that. Um, let's see what I wrote down as well. Yeah, so reconsidering my offer, like I just said, how can I best provide my value for LTV, also for fun, for my fun in business and all these things? How can I best provide my value and put that into an offer? Yeah, churn is normal. how do I set up now an incoming lead system? And I think I'm gonna do that through DMs. For e-commerce, I want to do it through email. So on ecom, you can just get a fucking load of leads and then just email system them out. But that's like more easy, I guess. It's hard to set up, but if it's set up, it's more easy. And also, if you have an ecom, or I mean, a done for you service, which I have now, and I want to kind of pivot more to a done with you service. How scalable is it? Like, if I'm gonna do done for you daily posts for 10 clients, I'd probably need like 5 editors. Like, how scalable is it? The management, you need a separate manager for that alone. So it's hard to scale an offer like that. So that kind of also got me reconsidering how can I best offer this. And yeah, I just also wanted to share the losses because you see all this stuff on social media where people are like the SMMA space, and I don't consider myself really in that space. I don't know, just I guess in a lane of my own, but they're always talking about how much they close or this or leads or that. I don't know, but no one is talking about, are you gonna actually keep your clients? What is your churn? How are you gonna keep your clients happy? How can you increase your LTV? Like, what is your offer? What are you even trying to sell? So all these things are so important. And I think also sharing the losses are so important, because now losing my first real client. So as I said in the last video, 5,900. Next month, I'll be at 3,500. So yeah, that's just part of the game. Like, churn is normal and losses are normal. How am I going to deal with it is way more important. So, and that I just explained it all. So yeah, think about that as well. You can close a lot of clients, but really focus on the service and your offer and what are you providing and your value. How are you going to keep them around? That's how you're going to build a business, not just by closing people that leave after 1 or 2 months. That's not how you build a real business. So yeah, I'm just going to also test my ecom offer, as I said, see how that goes. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. I have a lot of value to provide there. It's very unique. There isn't many people that really know how to do organic social media for e-commerce, specifically for brands. So I want to target like brands that want to become the number one in their industry. Only those kind of brands, they need it. They need a long-term strategy for organic. They need to build a community. They need to beat their competition in all areas. So that also means on organic social media. So for them, it's worth the investment. So that's something I'm really excited about. And yeah, I'm still in the Netherlands. I'll be leaving in a week or two. There's just been a lot of time to think, and I've had a lot of new ideas. So many good ideas. Like, it's crazy. Doing nothing or just reflecting is so valuable. So this is also something that I'm gonna do. Like, I'm gonna put a hard stop at work at like 6 p.m. every day. I'm gonna do nothing on Sunday. Have fun. Just think. As Naval says, it's not like the ideas come while you're stressing out over work. It's when you're doing play or doing nothing or sitting on a beach or surfing. That's when the ideas come. You're just pacing around your room thinking. That's when like the ideas come. So I'm gonna incorporate that more in my life as well, because even if I would go back to a place like Bali or Dubai, like, I don't want to be on go all the time, because you're gonna lose out on a lot of reflection, mental clarity, happiness, and great ideas. Like, who knows? Don't miss out on your $1 million ideas. So I want to do that more. Just keep this freedom like in front of me, also when I'm on the go, and like making myself uncomfortable again, like throwing myself off the cliff again. I still, in those times, I want to keep some free time and time to think and time to train and time to play, and all these things are very important as well, also for the success of your business. Yeah, that's basically it for this video, for this week. I hope you guys like this format. It's just straight up, raw, just in one go. I think I'm really resonating with this kind of content. I caught myself listening to, there's this one girl on YouTube, and she just takes her microphone into her car. and that made me notice that she just talks about her life and life problems and stuff. Like, it doesn't really matter what people are talking about, as long as it's just raw and authentic and them and honest. I'm like, I gravitate towards it. So yeah, hopefully you guys like this as well. That was it for this week. Share this with your friends who you think can use this, or your entrepreneurial friends, or friends you know that are kind of lost or trying to figure it out, trying to build a business. Hopefully this helps them out. Like the video, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week.